Good morning. Denise Dryden here. I'm out in Edmonds, Washington, which is across the ferry, and I'm next to this beautiful little creek and a huge cedar tree right over here behind me. So you can hear that babbling creek, which is perfect because it's nice and peaceful for what I want to talk about today. So the topic for today is the best tool for when you're triggered. The very best tool. And I've been playing with this. So let's just say that you have to prepare yourself for something that's going to trigger you. Something, that old place, that old wound, that old hurt, that old issue. And you're thinking, I don't know if I want to do this. I don't know how I'm going to do this. I always, we can fill this in. So when we're triggered, our bodies, they go into something we felt before. It duplicates an old feeling or an event, and it brings it right back up, and we're in the middle of it. And it's real. It's totally real. It could be fight or flight or freeze, but we're like in it, and it's biological, and we have to be able to find something to do to manage it, right? So, this could be an old partner, this could be a colleague, this could be a child, this could be a friend, it could be a place, it could be a smell, it could be a song. It doesn't matter. Something's going to come up and go ting, 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 and you're going to go, and you're going to go into reaction. Or you're going to anticipate going into reaction, like when you're going into a family event or into a stressful meeting. For those of us who have super sensitivity powers, we feel this in our bodies way before it even happens. And when we're in the middle of it, it's really hard to regulate. So recently I had an issue where I had two different clients contact me within about 6 hours. One got a voicemail from a past issue that this person thought was handled, and suddenly they were in a full panic attack, like, I can't breathe, I have to go deal with this, I don't want to have to deal with this. The anxiety had tripped into full fear, absolute full fear, and my client needed a tool to calm down and some ways to get back on the phone and deal with this issue. So that was the first one. The second one came through with another client who was in the midst of a major family gathering and noticing that siblings and parents and children were all ping-ponging off of each other, and there was so much tension, and it was turning out to be less of a celebration and more drama. And, there were edges, and there were hurts, and there were triggers with each family member, and my client wanted a tool. Give me a tool. Give me something I can work on. And, I thought, tool, what can I really give them right now? And I thought about last summer when I had to go down into a family gathering, which is, kind of difficult in our family scenario because it was with the entire family, including a couple of people that are not easy for me to be around, and I have a long history of pain with. So I thought, man, I need a tool. Give me a tool. So this is the tool that I found that can work, and I needed a tool that would transcend the past and the future. And I want to put that in that, transcend the past and the future, which is keep me fully in the present, stop replaying the past, stop getting into future tripping, and just stay present. I also needed a tool that was going to keep me in my body so that I wasn't disassociating, because that's what I do when I'm triggered, and that's what I was hearing from my clients, is that they're having a hard time staying present. And I needed a tool to focus on keeping my full nervous system present and regulated. So I played with the image of the solar plexus and sort of the heart location where, it's right here between, right at the middle of our chest plate down to the top of our rib cage. And I practiced some rhythmic breathing so that no matter what came my way during this family event, I was okay, and it worked. I was just like in, out, in, out. My kids were kind of freaked out, like, Mom, what's wrong with you? And it's like, I'm keeping myself really stable right now. So over the last 4 months, I've been playing with this, and I've been honing it, and I've been developing a way to set this up. So I thought I would share it with you. So what we're doing is we're looking at a tool to help with anxiety, fear, overwhelm, anger, frustration, anything where our nervous system starts to overreact and we have to deal with it. So you might want to bookmark this video and go back and listen to it again and again until you can figure out how to customize it into your own method. So number one, what we want to do is imagine that the torso shoulder, shoulder, hip, hip is a big rectangle. A big rectangle, okay? And that rectangle, I kind of tease it because I look at like SpongeBob SquarePants. You know, like here's a cartoon character whose body is just a big square. I was like, yeah, sign me up. That's what I'm going to envision for myself. Is that I have 4 points and that they're a square. The bottom 2 corners are the hips, the right and the left hip. So can you feel them? Can you see them? Can you rock on them? Okay. So sit on a flat surface, or stand in like a yoga mountain pose and shift from right to left and right to left until you can feel your right hip and you can feel your left hip, and then you can sort of teeter-totter them. This one goes here, this one goes here, this one goes here. Sometimes I'll even move them in a circle this way and move them in a circle that way until I know that they are balancing and that I can feel them. My feet are on the ground and my hips are balanced and they're lined up with the ground. Right? So I'm grounded. My hips are loose. They're working in partnership, and I'm creating a foundation, an ability to take on and hold for whatever comes my way. So one of the things I want to make sure we know is that when our hips are balanced and they're square like this and they're grounded, this is how we take on change. We go like, bring it on. There's a little bit of a ripple over here, a little bit of a ripple over here. I can do change. So change is what happens in our lower foundation piece, hip to hip. Okay? And as we all know, change can happen annually, monthly, weekly, hourly, minute by minute. So the key here is to keep your hips in balance and ground, right? So the 2 top corners of our body are our shoulders, the right and left shoulders. So find them and feel them. And what we want to do is we want to come up into them. We want to straighten our back. We want to make sure we're not slumping or turning. You know, we want to come up and we want to hold them back. And we want to go, there's right, left. And we want to go around. And we want to make sure that these are, again, working. They're loose. They know how to balance right to left. And they are holding us. And so it's almost like we extend the spine up. And we put the shoulders out, and now we have a really nice square. So this top part, when it's in balance, when it's moving, is choice. What am I going to choose to do? If I turn this way, I go that way. If I turn this way, I go that way. Whatever I do from my shoulders is choice. So now we have change and choice, and they're locked in to a rectangle. So we can take on whatever comes in. So now go to the heart. You put your hand right below your, like for women, right below your breast. You know, for men, right above where the rib cage comes up. And find that heart solar plexus. Like they're so connected. They're like right there next to each other. And when the solar plexus fans it, it opens the heart up, right? So let's just focus on the solar plexus. And so what we want to do is put our hand on there and breathe in slowly. And breathe out. Kind of like a 1 and a 2. Or you could, as you get better at it, or you get calmer, you can do 1, 2, 3, or 1, 2, 3, 4. And sometimes I'll do this: 3, 4 in, 1, 2, 3, 4 down. So what we do is we practice that in and out with our shoulders up, our frame intact, and our solar plexus going in and out. So imagine that there's some sort of a rhythmic machine. Like I like the old blacksmiths where, you know, in order to work with heavy metal and bend it, you had to have really hot coals and they had to stay hot. So you're feeding you're feeding the coals up there and you're keeping them gathered, but you've got these billows and they have to stay exactly at the right speed and temperature. And so what we want to do is we want to begin to become almost unconscious with how those billows go in and out, or pull out and go in, right? And so then as we practice this, we've got our frame in place, and these billows, this solar plexus is just going in and out, and in and out. And it does this at a really rhythmic way. Now, what I want to do is say that this square, if we can imagine, is just one big filter, like a big HEPA filter. And as we pull air in, we pull in all the collective, we pull in all the stress, we pull in everything that's going on, And then as we put it out, we put out clean, clear air. So what if we're just these big filter machines and our job is to clean the air, hold ourselves in balance, and participate on a much different level of letting something happen that stabilizes us, but also stabilizes the world around us, right? So when we breathe in what's out there, and then we put out calmer, cleaner, more beautiful air into the collective, into the environment, it gives us a really big purpose for staying calm, for staying centered, for staying in that sort of square box and using that filter system. And when you're in that filter system, and when the solar plexus are rhythmically moving in and out, things can happen and you're like almost like slow motion. Oh, there goes that. Or I could sit next to someone I fought with for 16 years and go, hi, and nothing bothers me. It's a beautiful tool, because when you are breathing and filtering, you create freedom. Freedom from attachment, freedom from stress. You're no longer reacting. You're in complete control of how you take in and air, inhale and exhale. You allow yourself to be surprised, entertained, happy. Oh, I remember how much fun that is. Or I'm just watching the drama over there and I'm not taking it on. It has nothing to do with me. Or I'm in a work environment that if I just do this and I do my job, I'm going to be okay. And the rest of the group is over there. So what we're doing is we're connecting to everything on our own terms. We have a deep connection with our breath into the world around us, but it's on our own terms. And we have this power. Oh my God, it's so much power to be calm, to absorb, to heal, to clear. And so sometimes I imagine, if I'm in a coffee shop and it's just really stressful and people are sort of, there might be a couple over there, or the baristas are backed up, or there's some contention going on, I just sort of slowly smile. I put my shoulders back, I ground my hips in, and I start doing the in, out, and in. Breathe in, expand, out, and bring it back in. So this works really well when you're dealing with tired toddlers, when you're dealing with an angry spouse or partner, when you're dealing with a deadline or a stress at work. It brings you back to center. It brings you back into your body, and it establishes you as sort of the sovereign of your own body. So give this a try. If this is something you want to know more about, you can always find me on DeniseDrydenCoaching.com. The crick over here is just absolutely adorable. It's been chatting with us while we've been here. Have a great Sunday. Have a great beginning of October. See you next week. Bye-bye.